started work when I was 15 and a half. And then the war came along and I joined up. I was called up in the October and Jim was to be called up next month. And we, as brothers, could claim, so I claimed. So what happened with that, we both were called up in January 1941. And then we went to initial training at Summers. And while we were at Summers, Jim's Morse code was so good and they were short up at Ballarat, so they posted him to Ballarat and he continued up there and I continued at Summers. We did basic training for the Air Force. It was called Initial Training School. When you finished that, we then went to flying. I went to Tigermoths. And then the service flying, I went to Amberley on Ansons. And from there I got my wings. And from that I was posted to England. I would have ditched, but 3 of the crew couldn't swim. In the Bay of Algiers I could have almost ditched with wheels down. But I couldn't take the risk. So in the end, what had happened was when the Germans were retreating through Italy, the Americans are putting down Pierce Plank runways. It was really for fighters, and they were sort of things about as long as this room that interlocked, you see, and they just build 1,000 yards of them or something as a runway. Well, we were flying Wellingtons there at just under 40,000 pounds, and they were giving our tyres hell, when you're getting up to takeoff speed, they get really hot and they can cut easily. You see. Well, it was through that I was just on takeoff at where we were in Bleeder in North Africa. This tyre burst and it just blew the whole undercarriage off. So I didn't have anything on one side at all. When I landed, I had to keep that wing off the ground because it's full of petrol. And I was managing to, it was days of the rear wheels, you do what they call a 3-point landing, 2 wheels and your tail wheel. Learning to fly with the seat of your pants and stalling on, it was all part of the technique. In the RAF they talk about a line, boasting. And you get a lot of that, about a certain trip, which was pretty dicey or whatever. I did a job when I was on the transport squadron. The Wellingtons, the Bombays had been taken out. They were going to fly Tigerforce out with Wellingtons. And the luggage bays that they built into these were ideal to take the rockets they used to fire from Spitz and whatever. And they had ELAS and ELAM, I don't know which was which, but one was up in the mountains shooting at the aircraft landing and taking off. It's like if you had a great long runway along the base of the Dandenongs, And anyhow, I flew there and they had fighters up to cover, so I flew in and they took all these bombs out, or rockets, and slammed the thing, and I just turned around and took off downwind. But, that was a dicey sort of a trip. And the RAF sort of guys say, oh, it's a piece of cake. So that's the sort of humour you'd get, or boasting. I'd been discharged from the Air Force just before. I joined their training corps. after the war, and some of the guys had got there, so I thought, this will be for me. So I joined. I was there for 18 years. It was really good. I was walking along St Kilda Road with a guy, and the guy coming down with a broad band, or two of them coming down. The next thing, he snaps up a salute. It was Westmore, one of my cadets here, has been their Commodore.